Yeah, such a big crowd. Okay, so my name is Pavel. I run product at Semrush. We serve millions of marketers all around the world, and we are top-notch experts in search and in AI search for sure. But today, I'm going to introduce you the most important PM in your company, one you've never met, never hired, and have zero control over. So AI changed everything. This is pretty obvious things, product marketing funnel, product funnel, AI search, everything, right? And if you are a senior leader today in an established enterprise company, this presentation will help you to turn your rising direct traffic into new growth engine. So if you are ambitious product manager who wants to break into leadership, stay with me. It will help you to make this faster. So let's start from the shift. This is a shift that already happened in search. This is pretty obvious things for everyone, but let's set up the narrative, right? Old world versus new world. So back in the days, it was pretty simple. People choosing new products, new vendors, click through 10 links in Google, compares, double check on Reddit, or maybe talk to their colleagues, things, and that took weeks, sometimes months, right? This is the new world. Someone asks AI, AI picks one brand, user confirms this brand maybe with another LLM or with another AI search, and buys, right? That took hours. So the middle of the funnel absolutely disappeared. And this is not the prediction, right? So this has already happened at scale. And talking about scale, look at these numbers. So AI search traffic grew 5x year over year, 5 times, and it's just started. So 80% of B2B buyers in tech now use AI as much as traditional search when researching new vendors, right? And this traffic does not show up on your dashboards. This is just a direct traffic that you can't explain, but it shapes the deal. So let me show you a simple example. We know this, right? But let me give some colors here. So someone on their phone at 11 p.m. in the bar, in the chat, looking for a new vendor for their, let's say, data management problem before the meeting with your sales team. And you are not here. It happened before your beautiful onboarding pages, freemium tools, landing pages, before everything. And this is pretty obvious things, right? But now there's a thing that most people do not realize. AI is not one thing, right? So when I say AI, you probably picture one system, your favorite one, ChatGPT, Claude, whatever, right? One answer, one truth. But that is wrong. So there are multiple AI systems. They all behave differently. They all have different opinions about your value proposition and about your product. And this matters more than you think. So again, simple example. Let's talk about outputs, right? ChatGPT versus Google AI Moat. Pretty simple. In ChatGPT, you have output with links, sometimes. In a Google AI mode, you have just a summary, plain text with links, sometimes, right? And this is super simple, but let me ask you, what the difference in terms of output between, let's say, Amazon Rufus, Claude Code, and ChatGPT 4.0 Mini? That's not the easiest one, right?
Yeah.
And because, and you can ask me like, okay, ChatGPT 4.0 Mini.
Not address.
Some on the stage. And you can ask me like, ChatGPT 4.0 Mini, why, Pavel, right? But the thing is that this model is still the most popular model right now behind all your favorite tools, just because it's cheap. So what's more, it was about outputs, but what's more, we decided to take a look at the sources. So sources is a thing that actually feed LLMs on a pre-training and when they're providing you results. So we compared Walmart.com in the 2 different AI systems, right? Gemini versus ChatGPT. The visibility score is pretty much similar, I would say, 69, 79. For such a big brand, this is a big deal, but for our conversation, let's say it's fine, right? But look at the cited pages, look at the numbers below, right? So it's 200,000 versus 1.6 million. It means different primary sources build different answers about your brand and about your product and about your value proposition. And before we switch to the next slide, that will be my favorite slide, let me ask you, which LLM is growing fastest at the moment? Try to answer this question in your head. Boom. So bad news for everyone, because we spent years talking with the different leaders across different enterprises about LLMs, AI search engines, and so on, and their common knowledge that ChatGPT is growing steadily, and this is #1 tool. So it was 6 months ago. Now it's just a history. So ChatGPT growth flattened and started falling down, while Gemini is going up. If I added more LLMs on this page, the picture would look even worse, like clear mess. This is not one market, and each one decides independently who wins. So what do, right? You do audit per model, not per AI, not per AI as one thing. You take, I don't know, 4 or 5 favorites platforms, 50 queries, you track, are you mentioned? Is it accurate? Who wins instead of you? And you can say, okay, this is an amazing goal or task for my product marketing or marketing team. Unfortunately, it's not, because it's not just a discovery problem, right? Onto decision making, I would argue that now you have a team member that you know almost nothing about and you have almost no control over. AI is now your first product manager your users talk to. So let's set up some context. Again, in the past, it was very simple. Simple. Product managers conducted customers' interviews, built roadmaps, worked with the prioritization. The results of their work were the first things users encountered, right? But now there is a second PM that isn't controlled by your division. We call it shadow PM. So you did not hire it. You cannot fire it, but they're doing their job every day, millions of times. But when you manage them, the benefits are huge, because when AI sets right expectations, users arrive aligned. So user asks, does this retailer offer same-day delivery? And AI answer accurately, yes, plus free returns. So users click through, finds exactly what they need, stays, converts with the lower bounce rate and higher LTV in the future. So how do you manage this? Also super simple. You research what AI says about you, about your product, about your value proposition. You fix what AI can read about you, and you shape what AI recommends. 3 approaches: prompts, sources, processes. We will go through all of them right now. So first approach is prompts, prompt research. So you look at what people ask in AI systems. So I will not promote any tool. You can find a bunch of them on the market at the moment. So this is the new customer development process at scale, because you can run thousands of interviews a day, not like it was in the past, 10 interviews per day, right? So you see exactly which prompts mentioned your brand, what AI responds, and where are your competitors, right? Super simple. And when you see this picture, you can realize that AI can only mention your product if it can read your product. If AI cannot crawl your product, it can't explain your product. If it cannot explain your product, it cannot recommend your product. It's super simple, but now let's think about your website for a second. So did you know that most AI crawlers do not render JavaScript? Now we are coming back to your website, and your beautiful landing pages, I believe they are JavaScript heavy, 100%. And this is the place where the AI visibility drops to zero, no matter how good your content is, right? So this is not nice to have. This is table at stake, because it's not just about new users. It's also about retention and LTV. Because look at this example. So when your users have problems right now, what they're doing, they are not going into your FAQ page or into your beautiful new chatbot, right? They are taking screenshot and they're putting this into ChatGPT and ask, hey, ChatGPT, could you please help me to set up new marketing campaign in this tool? Or could you please help me to figure out this problem with this particular interface? So if ChatGPT knows the answer because your docs are clear and crawlable, great. Problem solved, user stays. If not, user will not blame ChatGPT. They will blame your product, and most probably they will leave, unfortunately. So your documentation, your help centers, your FAQ pages are training data right now, so they are directly affect your churn. So what do? Again, you make your content extractable. Unblock AI crawlers. Quick tip, in a Cloudflare, AI crawlers blocked by default. So server render everything, no JavaScript walls, structure your docs in a short answer first chunks. So for sure at Schema Markup, we know based on our research that sites with structured data see up to 30% higher citation rates in AI. And this was the first approach, right? Now, the second approach, sources. And here's where I get excited, to be honest, because AI does not just affect acquisition and retention. AI can amplify your expansion through third-party sources that will feed AI, right? So when user asks AI, can my tool do this? AI says yes, and also you can do this, this, and this, because you feed the system in a right way from different sources. And your customers will discover new features. It's expansion, and you don't need a sales team for this. The problem is that it's difficult, right? So we ran a study, 200,000 prompts, and we looked at who wins and who loses on each platform. Some sites gained share on one platform and lost in another at the same time with the same content. So it means your positioning is not fixed anymore. And you can't run your leadership thought program just on LinkedIn, right? So what do? You win in earned media, not on your own website. 77% of brand citations in AI come from third parties: Reddit, G2, LinkedIn, YouTube, industry reviews, all of them. So do not wait until they closed their website under paywall and signed exclusive deal with some of their LLMs. So let these sources talk not just about your value proposition, but also about additional use cases, methods, and so on. So that was the second approach, sources, right? And now the third one, process. Let's combine everything together that we discussed today. So we are starting with the shape in AI perception. You are doing a prompt research, you fix documentation, you structure your content, right? And AI recommends you accurately. So right users come in with the right expectations, you have better activation rate and better retention rates, right? Users succeed, discovered new features, expand. When they're happy, they will talk about you on a Reddit, in the different communities, in LinkedIn, because they just want to share that they succeed with your product, right? And user signal feeds AI and loop gets even stronger. That's why it's not a marketing campaign anymore. This is a growth engine. And data backs this up. So think how it can affect your P&L and unit economics at the moment. So AI-referred visits have a 27% lower bounce rate. They are 12% more engaged, and they are 5% more likely to convert, not because of the trick, because they're coming from the right expectations. And now think how these numbers can change your economy and your growth. So to finalize this, let me put this into historical perspective. So mobile multiplied distribution, right? Cloud multiplied scale. Marketplaces multiplied exposure. AI engines multiply brand and product perception. They amplify how your product is described, who gets shortlisted, which features matter and which is not. And if you design for this system, AI becomes a growth engine, and now you can control your shadow PM. Thank you.